Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. The judge, Sulaiman Rahim here, Messenger of the Covenant, breaker of seven seals, the crusher. Brothers and sisters, why do you see me as you see me? Because I've been getting, one second here, brothers and sisters, one. Okay, yeah. I got a little pushback. People saying, it really doesn't bother me, but you just an old man. You just like Farrakhan, man. He's an old man trying to get some followers. First of all, I'm not trying to get any followers. I asked for any followers. I never have. I don't even want any followers. I keep saying I don't want any followers. I'm here to get God's. What it says, let's make man our likes our image. Talking about us, not talking about the Adam and Eve in the Adam and Eve story. You better read that carefully, break that down. Because that one was made on the sixth day. The Adam and Eve story was made on the first day, 6,000 years ago. This one is being in the process of being made right now. Go down the line. First day, second day, third day, fourth day, sixth day. But the other one was read on the first day. Read it carefully. So it's about us. So if you make an image and likeness of God, I mean, we've been made into gods. Gods. Gods don't need followers. Gods are not followers. They're gods. If you're a follower, you're not a god. So don't see me look for no followers. I make prophets and messengers and gods. See? Big up, oh man. And I ain't asked for a dime. I don't need your money. Why do gods don't need your money? I don't need your money. Messengers, prophets might ask you for money to further their mission. I don't need any money. I don't need your help. If I need your help, then how am I God? If you got to help, if I got to be in a wheelchair, you got to push me around. Farrakhan. So a little pushback here, they say, are you so, oh, well, do I look like old man to you? Right? I didn't take my shirt off, see my abs? I look like old man to you? I'm 74 years old. I look like old man to you? Do I look like I'm in a wheelchair to you? Just letting you know. Okay. This is no bullshit zone here. Okay. We're going home, but we're going to battle. Now you let Farrakhan lead you in a battle in his wheelchair while you pushing him. How you going to defend him while you pushing him? I mean, that whole thing is laughable. So I look like old man to you? Like I'm helpless? Look like I need a diaper? Change my diapers? Do I need that? Do it look like it? Does it look like it? Just to let you know, brothers and sisters, I'm not doing this because to prove anything, right? I'm just shut your dumb ass down because you know what you're talking about. See? So when you see the Son of Man coming, right, he won't be crippled. He won't be in a wheelchair. What it says? When you see the glory that's coming, how is that how is that glorified coming? You're in a wheelchair and a diaper. He's cursed. See? And the glory of his coming, come glorified in strength and in power. Ancient of Days is down with power, not in a wheelchair. Okay. So anyway, that's enough of that. I'm not, let's say, I just shut you down. Because I'm here to shut everyone down that ain't right. And as far as the elect concerned, I want to mention that. You know who the elect are? See, talking about the elect says, many shall be called, but few chosen. That means you elected. You don't choose me, I choose you. I put you in the Lamb's Book of Life. You don't put yourself in there. You don't come and say, I want to be. No, it don't work that way. You have to be elected, picked, You know what elect means? And read how to look at the scripture of them. So they could speak the language. No one else could speak it. They could hear what they heard. They speak the mathematical language. If you can't speak the mathematical language, forget it. And most you can't. Because most of you couldn't tell me how much is 5 times 7 divided by 5 without a calculator. You walk around with your hair braided, your ass hanging out, slippers on. Think you talking smack. You ain't talking anything. I was at the gym this morning. This guy just run his mouth a whole hour about nothing. See? No, you won't be one of the elect. That don't mean you won't get home, but you won't be one of the elect. Because elect is ones going out of here. They're the ones going to be delivered. Everybody's got to go through tribulation. See? That's like the incubator. Because you didn't learn your lesson after 40 years. After 40 years, you didn't learn your lesson. See? I mean, yeah, we suffered and we was drained of everything. That's true. But it still was an experience that you should learn from. You had to be a genius to figure out who the devil is, who was tormenting you, who was beating you, who was raping you, who was sodomizing you. You had to be a genius to figure it out. If you're still alive, you got a brain, you should have figured that much out. So there's no excuse on that level. Yeah, they gave you Christianity and everything else, but still, no, you still knew. You understand? Because if you walk down the street, right, and somebody spit on you, I don't care what religion you are, you're gonna react. So you on that level, you don't lose that level, because you jump on your brother mate, your fellow brother, right? But see, I'm big your pass from that because we don't know who's brothers and who ain't. Half of the so-called black folks are demons. See, so we don't know who is and who ain't. See, so I can get a pass on that one. See, because the original people are not attacking each other. See, but they may harm each other, right? Thinking they're defending themselves, or they think they're being attacked by one of us, when it's really one of the demons that's doing the attacking. So I understand, brothers and sisters. But the elect, right? Okay, they're gonna be speaking the mathematical language on a low level, but they start speaking it. See? They start speaking it. That's the elect. That's how I know who they are. That's when I recognize. Tell you, read the description of them. No one can speak with it but them. And the only way they do it because they had to be studying, they were thinking, and trying to understand this universe, the creation, this creation. That's what makes them gods. How can you be a god if you can't understand your creation? They're trying to tell me I'm a chess master and you don't understand how chess works. Right? That's why you have thorough knowledge of self. When Master Father Muhammad said you have thorough knowledge of self, that means you have to be a god. Prophets don't have to have thorough knowledge of themselves. Messengers don't either. But gods do. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. So we're going to move on here. Get out. Get out. What do you mean, get out? Get out, brothers and sisters. Babylon's fallen. Read chapter 18. See? Babylon's fallen. Get the hell out of here. Because in a few more days, stuff hit the fan. And what does that mean? A few more days, when it hit the fan, they're going to close the doors, brothers and sisters. And you won't be able to get out of here. And close the doors, you won't be able to get out of here. Do you remember what happened in 911? They closed up everything? Because this is going to be worse than 911. They're going to war. War in heaven, Middle East. Now, for you brothers and sisters, let me say something. Now, those that's been studying, maybe I shouldn't have to say this, right? If you start understanding how things working. But when they say no one knows the time, day, and hour, they're not talking about the war in the Middle East. I kind of let you think that away. And I'm let most continue thinking that away. It's talking about the time we're taking out here. Because it tells you, read further. It says, Because if the man knew what hour his house would be broken into, he would prevent it. So it's talking about that time. Because chapter 11 gives you the exact time when the war is going to start. It gives you the exact time. I'm not going to tell you. Because that's part of your trap. And how would you, right? You would avoid a trap if you saw a trap come. You could recognize the trap. It tells you exactly when that war is going to start. See? Because if you read there, right, it tells you. Right? What is that with when talking about the trumpets? It says one of them says that's the fourth. They talk. I know you don't understand this. It says, right? He says, time will be no more. Time will be no more. That's when the fourth trumpet blows. It said time be no more. So in other words, there's no time. The angel doesn't give you time after that. The time be no more. But what time is that? When the four winds blow, right? That's when right? When resurrection taken out of here. It's talking about that, brothers and sisters. See? So I said time will be no more. So we ain't gonna tell you what's going on after that. And four wind blow, resurrection, and we taken out of here. So time no more. Time stops there, not before then. Angel gives you exact time up to that point. Then it doesn't give you any more time to read it, brothers and sisters, right there. So time will be no more. Okay? I'm here to raise my people. I'm not here to elevate and educate our enemy. See? Deception is the weapon against your enemy. Hope you understand that, brothers and sisters. See? Hope you understand that. That's the time and hour refers to our deliverance. Read it carefully. It says it refers to if the man knew a house, it's the time he broke. That's when he broke into. Take his people, take us out. See? No one knows that, but who? The person that's going to take us out. Master Muhammad. I told my people, I told them a while back, I said, the people that's working with me, right? I said, even if you figure it out, don't say it. If you figure it out, don't say it. And I'm not going to confirm it if you slip up and say it, but I'm not going to like it. Okay, brothers and sisters, get out. So we'll talk about a few things. Now, I had to cut it short the other day, had an emergency situation. So I'm trying to follow up and finish up what I was saying. Well, because part of this is live. If YouTube don't shut it down, but we don't care if they shut it down. We don't care about those type of things, brothers and sisters. See? Because what happened to the walls of Jericho? Well, Jericho was trying to shut the people out, right? What happened? The whole walls got blown down. Don't you understand these things, brothers and sisters? They tried to shut the children of Israel out, keep them out, and the walls got blown down. So all these impediments they're building, these dams and stuff they're building to try to prevent this, it's going to just, it's being blown, it's going to be blown down. They already have problems right now. Look, their house is shaking. YouTube, their house is shaking. In Congress, they fight with each other about their child. They want to regulate their childs and everything else, right? See, so I don't worry about that, brothers and sisters. Because to stop this truth would be easier to stop the sun from shining. Really, it must be easier. To put the sun out altogether would be easier than to stop this truth here. See? Because you got to understand how things work. So we're going to talk about a couple of things here, brothers and sisters, and but get out. Like I said, I'm giving you mercy, brothers and sisters. Because I'm telling you, even if you don't understand this message, get the hell out anyway. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, get out. Well, we're going to call you account to it, but at least you save your ass and save your family's ass. Get the hell out of here. Because you don't want to be here. If you're not part of the elect, or you're not a part of that special group, right, then you're going to go through tribulation. And you don't want that. Well, it's a powerful move to go through it. I mean, right? If you understand that those who know their God, who the exploits, right? But still tribulation. And you have to walk through that fire, that furnace. You won't get burnt, That's if your faith is strong and firm. But it's going to be a hot fire. Extremely hot. Time of unprecedented trouble. Called the Great Tribulation. Said nothing ever like it. I don't want to go through it. I committed myself to go through it if I have to. If I'm the only one that can deliver our people through it, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll stay behind to do it. Mostly because of sisters that's left behind. Mostly because of them. If brothers step behind like that, that's on them. Because I'm a champion for the sisters. Because they have no champion. They have no champions playing night. Farrakhan, he's using them. He got them out there doing fundraisers. They give them their last penny to his so-called Savior's Day gifts and stuff like that there. And they going out, rent money and paying for their children education and food and stuff to feed that devil, demon, hypocrite, son of perdition. He exploits women. Got them walking up 2, 3. What's that for? They're going to defend you now? So they're going to take a bullet for you? You're going to put them out in front of you? You're probably taking a bullet for them. You should be up 2, 3, 4, have them set back behind you. You're going to take the bullet. But no, you got them up front. Y'all can't see that clown. Y'all can't see him. You have the sisters out there fighting for him, protect him. Because those so-called people that he so-called followers, you know, the testosterone bunnies. I call them, right? Right? Because, you know, buddy, buddy right there, like nothing, right? Ain't gonna fight nobody, right? But load them up with testosterone. So I go with testosterone buddies. That's all. Because nobody fears them. Nobody fears it. That thing he called NOI, Nation of Idiots. Nobody fears them. They're laughing stock. I ain't following L. Ron Hubbard. Come out. What they call it, grams, what they call those things, right? All that stupid stuff. And everybody on the planet knows that's ignorant. Everybody on the planet knows that's stupid. Everybody knows it but them. No, it's fake. It's Catholicism 2.0. Right? And he got them into this, telling them that's going to clear their mind. Get out, brothers and sisters. Get out. Get out. That's the truth of the matter. That's the crucifixion. They've been crucifying us ever since, from the very beginning. Still crucifying us. That's the real crucifixion. Right? Nothing happened before. The Quran tells you that never happened 2,000 years ago. That's the real truth crucifixion right there, us. Some naked, some barely naked. That's us. Okay? Got your mind crucified. Took you out of reality, having a phantom zone. Mathematics is only reality. It's only religion. What is religion supposed to do? It's supposed to get you control of reality. That's what religion is supposed to do. Understand what religion is supposed to do. But every religion on the planet takes you out of reality because they can't produce a damn thing, nothing. Look around you. Everything around you is produced by what? Mathematics. Show me something produced by Buddhism, Hinduism, any of the isms. Show me anything produced, anything real. And they tell you only the method of bringing something into reality is you got to pray for it. Yeah, but ultimately, you're praying for mathematics because you're not going to get a Christian car. You're not going to get a Buddhist plane, Hindu missile. All those things are mathematical. And the world is being ruled by mathematics, not by religion, but by Christianity. It's ruled by mathematics. They might tell you that, but they rule you by mathematics. And every religion on the planet is in subjection to it. Every one. That shows it's not real. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. Okay, now I want to explain a couple of things. I'm gonna keep this rather brief because, like I said, I'm doing a follow up because I had a emergency yesterday or the day before yesterday, and now I'm gonna try to explain as best I can, brothers and sisters. Now, see, you got the ones out in a minute, both the same amount of energy. See, in other words, but the 1 hour, it takes 1 hour to complete a cycle. The minute takes 1 minute to complete the cycle. Right? So it's like 10 people coming into Walmart, right? But 10 people coming every minute, right? Or 10 people come in every hour. Still 10 people, right? And so that's energy, right? But it's spread every hour. So every 10 hours, right? In 10 hours, right? Okay, you have 10 per hour, you have 100. But in this one, you got 10 per minute. So how many you got in 10 hours, right? You got 60, 600, 6,000. Right? So that's frequency and amplitude. See, amplitude is how much compressed. See, 10 is amplitude. 10 is amplitude. But what's the frequency? See, 10 is the amplitude, but what's the frequency? So you got this amplitude is 10, right? So if you come in 10 in a minute, right? That's a lot of energy. But it takes 10 an hour, right? Then you got same amplitude, right? But the frequency is down. Let me back up. You got less amplitude because on a minute basis, you got very. Let me say it a different way. He's got 10 coming in a minute. He's got 10 coming in an hour. So his amplitude is much more powerful than 1 hour because he's got all that coming in every minute. See? But he's got to come in based on an hour. So his amplitude is much stronger. It's the strength of it. Right? You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So if you got 10 people pushing on the wall every minute, right? Look how much strength you got, as opposed to 10 people every hour coming. Every hour, 10 people coming, push, right? This every minute, 10 people come. So the amplitude is much greater when the one on the right. Same amount of energy, the amplitude is greater. And the frequency is greater. Understand? Because the frequency is greater, amplitude is up. Because the frequency is greater, amplitude is up. Because same amount of energy. You understand that? Make sure I'm saying the one on the left is 10 people come in Walmart every hour. On the one on the right, it's 10 people coming in every minute. You got a higher frequency. There's a higher amplitude because look, all that energy is coming in every minute. Where this one, every minute, right? You got very little energy coming every minute because you got 10 people coming every hour, right? So if you spread that out, right, that'd be one person every 10 minutes, every 6 minutes. So if you do it that way, right? Let me see if I got this right. It's 60 minutes an hour, right? So if you break that up into 10 people, right, that means one person will come in every 6 minutes. Yeah, every 6 minutes, one person will come in, right? But every minute, you got 10 people coming in. I ain't said it right, did I? I said every 6 minutes, right, one person comes in. This one, every minute, 10 people come in. So that means every 6 minutes, so it means 1/6 of a person comes in every time 10 people come in on the other side. 1/6 of a person, right? As opposed to 10 people. So if you multiply it to make it sense, multiply both times 10, right? That'd be 6 people times 60. So every time 6 people come in, 1 person comes in. So see, the amplitude is much greater. Understand that? Okay. Hope I didn't over talk and confuse anybody. So here you go. See, now on a minute basis, right? See the amplitude, the frequency? Amplitude, because all that's compressed in a minute. This here is stretched out in a minute. Okay, you understand? See? All that energy in 1 minute is stretched out. Trying to keep understand how this principle works. So see like here, like in 52 minutes, 59 minutes, that's how much energy is accumulated in 59 minutes on the left, but on the right, you got, see how it's compressed, all the ones, that little short lines, straight lines, how much, all the energy is compressed in 59 minutes because the frequency is greater. That means you got a lot of amplitude there, a lot of energy in the 59 because the frequency is greater, but it has the same amount of energy. Let me make sure I'm not confusing anybody when I say that. Okay, you get, this might be a little confusing here. What I'm saying is, how I say this, one person represents a certain amount of energy. One person represents 10 units of energy, right? Okay. So that doesn't mean Walmart get the same amount of energy. It means one person represents a certain amount of energy, 10 units of energy, right? But okay, but one person comes in the door at Walmart every minute, right? So that's the frequency. Every minute, one person comes through. It's 10 units of energy every minute. In the other case, right? Other Walmart, 10 people, right? Each one got 10 units of energy, so everybody's got the same amount of energy, but 10, the frequency, 10 comes every minute. Understand it? So that's what I mean by everybody has the same amount of energy. Each individual, we're talking about frequency now. So you got one person coming in every minute in one Walmart. You got 10 people coming in every minute in another Walmart. So you got greater amplitude and greater frequency. Because you got 10 people coming in on one per minute, and you got one person coming 1 minute. So he's got greater frequency, got more customers, right? Yes. And other ones, so say for instance, this is what I'm getting at here. So say Walmart, I'm trying to keep it simple. Say Walmart has 100 workers. Walmart has 100 workers, right? Okay. So they can handle one person every minute. They have 100 workers, they handle one person every minute. Okay? So all Walmart's like that. So they have 100 people, they can handle, right, 100 people per minute. So if one person comes in, right, 100 people come in every minute, no problem. 100 people come every minute, no problem. Okay? I'm trying to show you how resonance and all that stuff works in a very simple way. So, hey, they good. If 50 people come in, hey, then they relax. They ain't no, right? They can take their time, right? Because they can handle 100 people per minute, but only 50 coming in. So they got plenty of time. I mean, if maybe 50 can take a break. They work half as hard to handle them, but it's no problem. But if 100 comes in, then everybody's working, no problem, because they set up to handle 100 people per minute. And they got 100, there's 100 of them, right? 100 comes in. Well, if 200 comes in, now you put pressure on them. Right? Because they can only handle 100 people a minute. See, I'm trying to show you another way how resonance works. They want 100 people per minute, but now 200 is coming in. So they can't handle 200. So then they're under intense pressure, they got to work twice as hard. Okay? So because energy is building up, so they're working twice as hard, they're under a lot of stress or strain. Well, 300, now they're twice as much strain. Strain is getting greater, you know. How much strain can they take? But the whole thing breaks down, and then people just storm through and take over the place. Because their reaction rate, right, is 100 per minute. That's the reaction rate, 100 per minute. But you causing 200 per minute. So they can't react to that fast enough. So now it's building up. Pressure's building up on them. Because their reaction rate is handling 100 people per minute. But you putting 200 per minute on there. So now the reaction rate can't handle it. So it's putting stress on them. At what point they break? They have to close the doors or they break down. People just take over the place. You understand what I'm saying? Because they couldn't handle it. They're going to handle some amount. So I'm trying to show you how resonance works. Because what happens is that, the way I explained it before, and I'm going to go a little more detail, well, maybe. With resonance work, I know you seen that commercial where a woman, maybe some of you have, she ain't like that. She, you know, and the thing is, glass, everything, see, we all operate on a frequency. You may not realize it. Everything vibrates. Everything in the universe vibrates. Everything. All your cells, because all atoms vibrate. All atoms vibrate. Right? So you vibrate. Right? So when you expose to energy, there's greater, because vibrating, remember, everything vibrates. But if it vibrates too, in other words, say you got a molecule. Okay, a molecule is held together by electrons. I don't want to go too deep in this balance systems, but it's like it's held together, right? So anything, like you take something, you shake it too much, right? It'll break. That's why glasses, right? If you, I don't want to go too deep into this balance system, but anyway, everything vibrates. So in other words, but it's everything's held together, like your body's held together. What's holding it together? They think electrons is holding your body together, right? But if the vibration come too great, the electrons break down. That means things come apart. Because remember, you're holding something, but if something pulling on it more than you can strength that you hold it, then it's going to come apart. So if you kept something to vibrate causes things to shake. And something's trying to hold it together. But the shaking becomes greater than it's built to hold together, it's going to come apart. That's that so-called Memorex commercial, because she hummed the sound, those vibrations, because when you speak, that's vibrations. That's vibrations. Another form of currents, vibrations. When you speak, you vibrate. Because they're called vocal cords. They vibrate. Every time you hear a word, those vibrations. And the more intense your vibrations, right, that you emit, those vibrations hitting other people. Hitting their, it's not just hitting their ears, hitting their body too. They don't realize it, but it's affecting your body too. Affecting all you, because you vibrate. Affecting everything around you. It's affecting your room, everything, because you vibrate. Just by breathing, you're vibrating, but if you're speaking, you just send out pressure waves that's vibrating. Pressure waves, vibrating pressure waves. See? So when you do that, it's affecting things around you. And the more intense it is, right, the greater the vibrations. See? Because your brain vibrates, it's thought, it's pressure. So it's going to affect those vibrations too. So your brain vibrates too. Thought is vibrations. If you're speaking is vibrating, that means thinking, right? Thought, that has to be vibrating also. So like I point out, if you take a metal rod, like a broomstick, and it's total metal, says weigh 1,000 pounds. You set up right on the floor, you know it's going to punch a hole through that floor. See? So if you take a hammer and go outside, take a hammer on concrete and start hitting it, right? You don't see nothing happen, you hear noise. But that's vibrations going into that concrete. Now, the concrete has a vibration, right? Level, right? Um, like water, right? What's that? I'm going to use water here. Okay, well, it has a reaction rate, right? Solids, well, depends on, has a reaction rate, right? So when you hit it, it doesn't react, right? It absorbs that energy. Hit it again, it absorbs it. So say the reaction rate of concrete is every 5 minutes. It can react, it takes 5 minutes for it to react, right? And so you're hitting it with a hammer. And remember, if you put 1,000 pounds of force on that, like a broomstick on that concrete, you punch a hole in it, right? It's 1,000. Hit with that hammer, that's only like 100. So nothing's gonna happen, right? Right? Because reaction rate, right? Like I said, what? 1,000 pounds per takes about 1,000. 10. Well, let me say it another way. Its reaction rate is slow, right? So when you hit it, it doesn't react yet. Hit it again, but if it takes 10 minutes for it to react, and you hit it 10 times for that 10 minutes over, with a force of 100, that's 1,000. It's enough to crack it. Because it was absorbed, it was spent. So let me use a sense of water. What I'm saying is, you built that pressure up, those vibrations in there, and the concrete wasn't able to react to it, to absorb it. So it built up. So it built up to 1,000 after you hit 10 times within that 10-minute zone period, within it. But if you spread out, then it's going to react, so it's going to absorb it. So take water, for instance. Now, water has a fast reaction rate. So if you take and drop some in it, you see it react real quick, so it absorbs it. Right? You see waves and everything right away. No delay. It's a quick reaction rate. But say, for instance, you jump off a 3-story building or 4-story building into that. Now, you're coming down and you're hitting it real fast before it has the ability to react. See, because the force you're applying to it is greater than it's built to react at that point in time. Let me put it another way. Remember that metal rod I told you about? You take that metal rod and you put it on there right now. Let's put 1,000 pounds in 1 instant. So it takes 10 minutes to react. So boom, it's going to punch a hole right into it. Because you got 1,000 right there. You don't have to wait 10 times. That's resonance right there. That's resonance right there. If you hit it 100 pounds of pressure, force, right? 10 times within 10 minutes. It's going to be the same thing as putting a rod on there, 1,000 pounds, because the concrete have time to react. It's going to put a hole in it. Same thing. Just got to do it before 10 minutes is up, before it has time to react. So the same thing. So if you took and water has a reaction rate too. So say water's reaction rate is, right? 1 second. It says 1 second. So you put 1,000 pounds in there, right? Okay. Immensely, it's not going to react. It's at 1,000 pounds, right? It's going to take 1 second to absorb it. Right? So that's why when you take and drop something, if you drop that 1,000 pounds instantly, right? I missed something here. I'm making this too complicated, brothers and sisters. Water has a reaction rate in 1 second, right? So if you put 1,000 pounds in there, right? Then right now that 1,000 pounds, it's not going to react because you put it right there, and it's going to take a second, right, for it to start trying to react. So it's going to be a splash because it can't. That's a lot to absorb in 1 second. But if you drop a pebble in there or something like that, right, it's not much. Yeah, I'm making this too complicated, brothers and sisters. But I want to get into a main point, and I really need to explain this clearly so you understand it. Let me do it this way. Say water has a reaction rate of 1 minute. That second's too difficult to understand. 1 minute, right? So it can handle, right, 1,000 pounds of pressure. Right? It can absorb 1,000 pounds of pressure, but it takes 10 minutes to do it. I think that's a better way to explain it. You take 1,000 pounds, right, of force, but it takes 10 minutes to absorb it. 1,000 pounds, right? So you top 1,000 pounds there, right? It's going to be, it's going to be, the water to that 1,000 pounds will be hard as a stone. That's why when you drop, if you drop from third story building, right? Say you were 100 pounds, right? Whereas mass times acceleration equals force. So you coming down, so that's your mass at 1,000 pounds. Your acceleration is going to be very fast. So at 1,000 pounds, so 200 pounds, by the time you hit the water, it may equal 1,000 pounds. Mass times acceleration equals force, right? So you hit that, the water can absorb this amount of force in 10 minutes. Let's just make it a minute. Water can absorb this amount of force in 1 minute, right? So it can work 1,000 pounds of force in a minute. I know you didn't realize that you see water reacts real fast, right? Unless you ever jump from a 3-story building, you find it's hard as rock. Why is it hard? So water can absorb 100 pounds, 1,000 pounds of force in a minute. It takes a minute to react to it. 1,000 in a minute, it can absorb it. So when it hits it, right, then it's going to hit like a solid rock because it hits it in 1 instant, right? It takes a whole minute for the reactor, 1,000 pounds. So if 1,000 pounds hits it, it's going to take a whole minute. So it's going to be, for that 1,000 pounds, it's going to be like hard as a brick, hard as a stone. That's why somebody jumped down from a 3-story building, when they hit that water, it's going to be solid to them because the water cannot react that fast. They hit it, right? Mass times acceleration. So if they hit it from a 3-story building, that's mass. If they weigh 100 pounds, and you got to multiply times acceleration. Acceleration is 32 feet per second. So if you do that calculation, by the time you hit it, they hit it more than 1,000 pound force. Hit with greater than 1,000 pound force. So I hope I'm clearing this up, brothers and sisters. I didn't want to go this deep into it, but I want to really get you to understand this. So it hits it, when they hit it, it's like solid because the reason why it's solid, because the water can't react that fast. But you don't notice that water unless you hit it like that because water seems to act real fast because you're not putting a lot of force against it. But put a lot of force against it, right? See? Then that's one of the reasons why boats and stuff float. That's no straw together. But the thing is, because to the boat, right? Wood is solid. See? But they have to build a certain way to make that happen. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying if you hit it, so it's solid because wood has time to react. But if you just jump in it from right away, right? Then you're 100 pounds. It can handle 100 pounds a second. So you don't even notice it. You might feel a little bit, but you feel something because water. The reason why, even if you jump in, just dive into it off the ground, you're gonna feel something because that's what you're feeling when you hit the water is the reaction rate of water. That's what you're feeling. Because the water had an instantaneous action rate, you wouldn't feel anything. It'd be like diving into air. You wouldn't feel anything. But what you feel when you dive into it is a combination of two things, right? The water's reaction rate and how much you weigh. You take somebody who weighs 200, 300 pounds and hit that water, they're going to feel it. More than somebody who weighs like 100 pounds, they're going to feel something, not as much as a 300-pound person feel, because the action rate of water, right? It can react to so much mass. Its reaction rate. So if you overcome its reaction rate, then it's solid to you. The more you press you put on its reaction rate, the greater, right? The reaction is resistance. Put that away, resistance to you. So I'm trying to get you to understand reaction rate. If that's the point I'm trying to push here, bro, it's just reaction rate, reaction rate, reaction rate. Because I never really explained that in the past. Reaction rate, reaction rate, reaction rate. That story was Jericho, because what they did is they kept on singing the same tune over and over again. And those walls were solid, right? And that reaction, it was building up, because it took a long time for the walls to absorb the energy that children of Israel was the vibration they was expressing. Because once you knew the reaction rate of those walls, right, and you know how much vibration you can emit, it's a calculation. How much vibration? Okay, I'm speaking right now. I'm emitting so much vibration when I'm talking. It depends on how powerful my brain is, the amplitude, right, the power of my vibrations. Okay. So I said, okay, this the power of my vibrations, right? Okay. So I know the walls, right? They have a reaction rate. And they can absorb so much energy per day or per hour, per whatever. So I say, how much energy does it take to break those walls down? How much energy does it take to break those walls down? See? So I don't have a sledgehammer, I have a missile to do it. Right? But I know it has a reaction rate. And to break it down, I have to overcome its reaction rate. You understand? To break those walls down, even if you throw it a bomb, it's the same thing. If you hit it with a bomb, whatever, you still overcome its reaction rate. Because if you hit it with an atomic bomb, but it has a very fast reaction rate, it's just going to absorb it. Now, I don't think there's any material that can do that, but you understand what I'm saying? So it still comes down to that vibrations and reaction rate. So it vibrates, but its reaction rate, what its reaction rate is. Okay, so once you understand what its reaction rate is, this wall is, then you say, okay, how much vibration can I emit? And I say, okay, I need to emit this much vibrations, right, to overcome its reaction rate. Because vibrations, remember, it's reactive vibration, because it's vibrating too. So you want to create some vibration enough to overcome its reaction rate. But I said, well, I can't do that. I can't do it. I don't know what I can do. I mean, I have to really blow my lungs and everything out, right? And and how long would I have to do it? I have to keep doing that for a week or a month or whatever. So I said, well, how many I need to do it? So I said, okay, I'm producing my vibrations, right? I'm producing so much vibration, which is equal to 100 units of force every second. Remember, vibration is force. I'm producing 100 units of force every second. 100 units of force every second. But it takes 10,000 units of force to break that down, right? And you have to do it, right? It has to do it within a day, because the reaction rate is 24 hours, right? So it takes 24 hours to absorb it. So it takes 100,000 pounds of pressure, force, to knock it down, but you have to do it within an hour, otherwise it's going to absorb it. Am I making sense to you, brothers and sisters? Its reaction rate is 24 hours. So if you can apply, right, 100,000 units of force on it, then it's going to break it, right? Because that's how much force it takes to break this wall down. 100,000 units of force. It takes 100,000 units of force to break this walls down, right? But the wall has a reaction rate of 24 hours. So if that force is spread out, more than 24 hours, then it's really not 24,000 units of force, because now you got to spread it out. Say you spread out over 2 hours, you do it. Let's do it that way. Okay. Let's just keep it simple. Let me back up. Okay, let's do some math here. Simple. Let's define this thing. This thing can absorb 24,000 units of energy every hour. Wait a minute, 10,000 units, 10,000 units of force it can absorb. 10,000 units of force it can absorb every hour. 10,000 units of force it can absorb every hour. Try to keep it simple. 10,000 units of force it can absorb every hour. Right? But anything or more than that in an hour is going to break it. So if you got 10,000, 15,000, it's going to break it because right? Because it only can handle 10,000 units of force. That's all it can handle. See, normally the way you look at these things, you say, well, it takes 10,000 units of force and knock it down. But it has a reaction rate. It has an absorption rate. See, people don't take account of that, right? They don't take account of that part. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand, that level of it. Because if you say, okay, man, it just takes, man, all I got to do is hit this thing, man, with 10 pounds, that's going to break it. Yeah, normally if you look at it from that simple way, yeah, it'll break it. But if the material can absorb 10 units of force every second, that won't break it. Because you have to hit it fast enough before they absorb it. You understand the other aspect of this? So let's go back to our problem here. This wall, 10,000 units of force will break it. 10,000 units of force will break this wall. But this wall can absorb 10,000 units of force every hour. So if you put 10,000 units of force in it within that 60 minutes, it'll break it. See, that's the aspect you're not aware of. But if you do it, if you do it over 2 hours, then actually you only applied, right, 5,000 units of force, because it absorbed the other 5,000. It absorbed it. So you have to apply the whole 10,000, right, within that 1 hour. Right? Otherwise, it's not enough. Because if you do over 2 hours, that means you're only really applying 4,000 units of force, because you're applying 5,000 units of force per hour. It won't work. That's when I tell you how much per hour, per time. You add time aspect to it. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. So if you can calculate, it says, okay, I need this wall will take 10,000 units of force. But you have to say, what's the reaction rate? You got to take that into consideration. Because if you apply it, right, instantaneously, yeah. And most time that's the case. But if you don't, right, if you're going to take it and bring a whole lot of people, they're going to push on it, that might not work. Because it's absorbing it fast, you're pushing. Says, wait a minute, I thought it could take 10,000 units of force. I got 10,000 people here, each one put a unit of force, right? And they're pushing, right? But they spread out, or they pushing so much per minute, right? Then all at the same time, then how come it's not working? We're putting that much force, yeah, but just spread over time, it's not working. It has to be 10,000 units within an hour. In that time frame, then it'll do it. That's what the story about Walls of Jericho. Because we did said, okay, I'm telling you, these are mathematical books, brothers and sisters. I'm trying to get you to get deeper into math, because right now the math you use is very simplistic, and you're not taking time into consideration. Like when you people fighting in a ring and everything, right? Okay, you hit that guy, bam, a lot of force. But his body's absorbing that force too. So if you hit him fast enough for his body to absorb it, that's gonna be a hurt him. But if you hit him like every minute, every minute, by the time you hit him a second time, he's overcome that first one. So the second one didn't do anything. You hit him, bam. Right? And then you hit him, bam, again another minute later. But his reaction force is like every minute. So you hit him, And by the time you hit him again, he's absorbed it. His body absorbed. But hit him twice or 3 or 4 times within that minute, then you're going to take him down because his body didn't have a chance to absorb it. You understand, brothers and sisters? I think I try to make it as simple as possible here, right? So I'm saying if you can calculate, right, the reaction force, right, the reaction force, and you know how much force you're emitting per hour, how much his reaction rate is. If you can do that, then you can figure out how much you need. You can figure out how much you need to bring it down. That's what the story of Eric Jericho is all about. So in other words, let me back to say it again. You have to know what the reaction rate is. When you know the reaction rate, how much force can you emit? How much vibration can you emit per second? Right? Because that's what you're talking probably a base second, right? Okay, so I can emit I can emit 10 pounds of pressure force every minute. Right? But his reaction rate is 10,000 per minute. Reaction rate is 10,000. He can absorb 10,000 per minute, right? But I can only, let's make it simple. I can do 100 per minute. He 10,000. So 10,000, that's 100 times 100, right? So I need 100 people doing the same thing at the same time, right? Within that minute time, and I can bring it down. Not 9 people, 10 people. He's doing 100, that's 10,000, and bring it down. You understand? I just calculate, I can bring it down. See? If I have more, then that's even better. That's how you calculate that. Now, why am I saying this stuff, brothers and sisters? Because your brain has a reaction rate. See? And it vibrates. Your thoughts vibrates. And so when a scientist sends you in with a scripture, it vibrates it has a certain amplitude to it and certain vibration. But they can only pick a certain person to do it because that person has to be able to vibrate on that level or two, has the same amplitude. Otherwise, it's going to crush them too. So it had to be a certain person, like Prophet Muhammad, he had the only person that could do that because he had the Quran. That's why reciting the Quran, you see I'm trying to bring things together, right? Because it gets you vibrating on a certain frequency and amplitude. Get that mind, right? Vibrating, your heart vibrating on a certain frequency, a certain amplitude. That's why I recite it. Because remember those vibrations. That's why you're saying it. I'm trying to bring all this together for you, brothers and sisters. So you start operating on higher. Now you got a higher amplitude. You create your amplitude. That means you talk to people, right? That means higher amplitude means higher pressure, higher vibrations. Lower vibrations submit to higher vibrations. So I never talked to you in terms of vibrations before. Because I want you to understand basically the idea of pressure. Lower pressure succumbs to higher pressure. But pressure comes in terms of vibrations. See, I always talk in terms of waves, right? Because that's where we get energy from waves, that's waves. But it converts into vibrations. I said, remember I told you the universe, the earth absorbs the waves and converts to a form of energy we can use. It turns into vibrations. Because we can't absorb it in terms of waves. The earth absorbs in terms of waves and the earth converts into vibrations, right? It's a vibration. The air is vibrating, the food you eat vibrating, everything else. Because we can't accept it in form of waves. We have to accept it in terms of vibrations. So now you increase your vibrations. So now when you're talking to people, right, you're sending vibrations out there, right? That means so you're affecting their vibrations. You're affecting their thoughts. You're affecting their whole body. You're affecting everything around you. They can't help it. They can't help it because they blocking it. They're really not blocking it because it's affecting them. They may want to block it, but it's still affecting. It's changing their vibrations, affecting their vibrations. Eventually, their vibration is you're going to cause their vibration, you're going to cause them to vibrate on your level, up to your level, your frequency. You don't have to, you want to force them to do that, or they'll come apart. Took a long time to get here, brothers and sisters. Hope I didn't mess up at getting here. I'm trying to show it getting deeper into this. Like I said, it's a simple concept, but trying to explain it. I'm trying to explain it all. I'm trying to give you analogies and things like that, right? So the angels are vibrating on a high frequency. That's why nobody could unlock it, because they had to be vibrating on a certain level, right, to unlock it. Because the person unlocks it had to be vibrating on a high level, or it will crush them too. So once those vibrations are released, it's causing everything around the whole world to start because it's affecting the whole world. You're affecting the whole world too. But you affect that whole world. And the difference is your vibration as opposed to vibration that's vibrating around you. And the vibration around you is greater, then you being overcome by the vibration around you. But if your vibration is greater, then you overcome the vibration around you. So you force the things on your level, your frequency, or you're being forced in the frequency of someone else's. Am I making sense to you, brothers and sisters? So that's why you make slash. So now you increase your frequency, you increase your amplitude, right? And so now when you're talking and things, you're affecting the people around you. See? And so their vibrations, that's why Lazarus is waking up, because putting those vibrations out there, right? It's causing them to vibrate. So when you sleep, you vibrate at a low level, right? And so your vibration has to come up to wake up. You don't just wake up. Your vibration has to raise up, because what happens is you run out of energy. And so when your energy runs out, your vibration levels goes down. Vibration level goes down means you're not thinking that well and everything, so you're sleeping. And your body starts absorbing energy, right? Because you got to be recharged, right? So your body starts, right? Because the earth produces energy every 24 hours. So your body starts bringing energy, get your vibration levels up, and then now you wake up. So Lazarus is asleep. We was vibrating on a very low vibration level for the last 6,000 years. Energy deprivation. But once energy is released and the vibrations, right, are released, so now you're being, right, you're being invigorated, you're being caused to vibrate on higher level, higher levels. So our people are vibrating on a higher level. It looks confusing to you right now, right? Because they're still on the lower level they should be, but they're gradually vibrating higher levels. Because that's the angel, that's what it's designed to give their mind back, get vibrating on that frequency, right? Where it's supposed to be, their natural frequency. Right now, their natural, because right now they're operating on lower frequency, the same frequency as the devil's operating on. Because they was designed to operate on lower frequencies. They can't achieve the higher frequencies. They can't achieve it. They vibrate on a lower level, right? But they had enough energy to vibrate on that level we didn't have, so we couldn't even vibrate on that level. So they was vibrating on a higher level than we were. So they was causing us change, affecting our minds, tell us what to do and everything else. Because we vibrate on a lower level than them, because we didn't have enough energy, right, to keep our vibration level up. So we vibrate on a lower level. So now we're being brought up to a higher level. And at some point, we're on a higher level than them. That means now we're affecting them. And that's happening right now. It's happening because they're confused, because they don't know how to operate. They don't know how to operate on that level of vibration. The vibration is greater. Remember, you think your thoughts are vibrations, right? But their frequency is limited. So if you start frequency going, that means you're putting strain, because they can't hold together. They can't hold their thoughts together because the vibration is too much. That's why they're confused. They can't tell who's what's what. I be careful here, because oh man, you say that, they're gonna deplatform. We don't care. You understand? But everybody's confused because their vibrations is getting haywire, is getting out of sync, and so therefore, right, it's starting to come apart. It means they're thinking everything's confused because they can't operate on that frequency. And I told you got several frequencies. You got the lower frequency, the devils, The next one, right? Orientals, Asians, Africans. Say we make men our likeness and image. We can operate at the highest frequency. They can't. And we're moving up to that frequency. The world is not on that frequency right now. The world is operating somewhere around the Oriental frequency, which is why they're under so much pressure from where? Who's the most powerful country apart from them? Next, then moves to Asia, then Africa. That's why I said last war, because we'll be operating on that frequency. We'll be operating on that frequency too. Otherwise, it wouldn't even be a war. We just blow them away. So when Lucifer gets to operate on his frequency, we operate on that frequency too. But we can go beyond it. But it could be a war. Because we'd be operating on the same frequency he operating on. Because we went to the next level before the war happened. Then we just blow him away. It wouldn't have to be a war. Because we already be overcoming him, confusing him and everything else at that point. Because our frequency be higher. Remember, higher pressure destroys lower pressure. Our pressure would be basically the same at that point. That way we go to war. If our pressure was higher, we wouldn't have nothing to worry about him. He wouldn't be able to do anything to us at all. You understand? That's why you're having a war right now. Okay? So most of you operating on the Oriental level. I'm not operating on that level. You don't know what operating level I'm operating on. I give you a little secret. Those who I taught about cycles, look at my cycle, you see where I'm at right now. You want to know what's happening with me, look at it. Because mine is clear. Okay? Understand, brothers and sisters? Hope I haven't confused anybody. So this amplitude, frequency, vibrations. I never talk about pressure in terms of vibration, that's deeper. I tell you, we go deeper and deeper into this, brothers and sisters. Everything vibrates. Vibration is pressure, but it's more complex pressure. It's like you're saying 5 equals 5, right? But you can also 2 plus 3 is 5, right? You also say 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus is 5, or 2 plus 1 plus 1. You know, you can make all complicated. You say 9 minus 4 equals, you know, so vibration gets deeper. You see deeper into it. Because everything vibrates. I said pressure is that universe is all about pressure. But more complicated, but pressure is vibrations. Vibration is more complex pressure. Beginning was the word. Word is vibrations. It's pressure, but it's more complicated pressure. Vibrations. And the truth is based on vibrations, which is deeper. It's pressure, but you're getting deeper vibrations. Okay? So when you're talking, you emit vibration. I hope you understand, brothers. So nothing changed, it's still pressure. I'm just telling you more details about pressure to understand pressure a little better. So the pressure the pressure in the universe, the pressure is vibrations too, but it's also waves. But when it comes to us personally, it comes in the form of vibrations. So the energy comes, it's momentous in the heavens and earth, but coming above a sudden, the energy is coming from the plant, coming in form of waves. Earth has to absorb it, convert it into vibrations, because that's we on a vibration plane. I said the war is a mental war, because it's a war of vibrations, thoughts, vibrations. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I think I said. Let me move on here. See what I got here. Okay, what I got here? Oops. Oops. Okay, what I'm showing here is, see on the left, both same amount of energy, right? I put it together, right? But the frequency is different. So on the right there, right, you see it takes 60 minutes say 60 people, right? Take 60 minutes for people to come through. So in other words, one person per minute comes to Walmart. That's what's on the left. But on the right here, on the left here, right, 60 minutes come in every minute. See, on the right there, 60 minutes come in. 60 people come in. 60 people come in every 60 minutes. 60 people come in every 60 minutes. That'd be one person per minute, right? On the left there, 60 people come in every minute. Right? So you still got 60 people. It's just frequency is different. So you get six people. On the left there, 6 people come in every minute. But on the right there, 60 minutes people keep come in, right? It takes 60 minutes for 6 people to come in. It takes 60 minutes for 6 people to come in. It means one person a minute. On the left there, 60 people come in, right? But they come in every minute. Hope you understand, bro. Says I'm not sure I labeled that correctly. Let me say it one more time to make sure. 60 people come in every minute. Other case, 6 people come in every 60 minutes or every hour. So in a 60-minute period of time, right, you got the one on the right. Spread out like that. On the left, you got compressed. I'm not sure I labeled that correctly, brothers and sisters. Anyway, you understand what I'm trying to say here? But it all gets back to reaction. I already explained this. I'm not going to explain this anymore. I think I labeled that improperly. But the bottom line is how much force is applied and what your reaction rate is. How much force applied, how much your reaction rate is. Right? So right now, the reaction rate of devils is low. And so therefore they can't absorb this energy. They can't absorb it. It's too fast for them. Vibration is too great for them to absorb it. So now that's why you see them in disarray now. Let me get off this page. I think I labeled this improperly. I don't want to leave that there, brothers and sisters. I mean, I knew what I was trying to say here, but try to explain it. It might be, it's going to, in fact, I meant to even just take that one out. So their reaction rate is lower. So they can't absorb this knowledge and stuff that's what's happening. Because, like you say, okay, Farrakhan out there, he don't know anything. See? But I'm telling him things that's happening. He all watch the weather and stuff. So they can absorb that because it's BS anyway. It's low frequency. It's low vibrations. Because truth, well, I'm getting deeper into stuff again. I shouldn't even, okay. I think I'm getting too involved here, brothers and sisters. Because now I got to explain truth. See, truth depends on your season. What's truthful in summertime is not truthful in the wintertime. It might be truthful to walk around in a bikini in the summertime, which, no, but you wouldn't want to do that in the wintertime. So that aside, right? Truth has to be in sync with the time. If truth is in sync with the time, vibrations that's in sync with the time, that's truth. Vibrations that's in sync with the time, that's truth. Vibrations out of sync with time, that's false. Put that away. Right? So when you have that's why prophets come, they're in sync with the time. They're telling you things that's happening, what's about to happen, right? So it impacts, it's high vibrations, high vibrations. It means you got to react to it, right? So if you react to it, right, that means you're in tune with that vibrations. That means you're in tune with the time so you can deal with the situation. But if you have a low reaction rate, you ain't going to believe it. You ain't going to accept it. You ain't going to get it. You vibrate on that level that you need to vibrate to survive Because remember, every period of time, here we go, brothers. Every period of time, we vibrate all the time, right? In wintertime, there's a certain vibration level. Vibration in wintertime is slower than it is in summertime because it's cold. So vibration is lower. Sometimes vibration is higher, right? So every period of time has a vibration level. And to survive that period of time, your vibration level has to be on that level or higher. Your vibration has to be on that level or higher. If it's lower, right, then you're being crushed because vibration is greater than your vibration, so it's going to crush you. Your vibration has to be on that level or higher. So what happens is the disbelievers, their reaction rate is too slow. So that's why they don't react to it. That's why they don't remember. Disbelievers, they don't react. They don't listen. I touched all mathematics, bro. I'm going too far in here. I'm trying to explain this all mathematically. I think I don't want to lose anybody. But that's what happens. Someone's come, a message or a crown or whatever, for that vibration what you need to survive that level of time, that period of time. And the believers, they vibrate on that level. Okay, they're believers. They start vibrating that level. So therefore, they can survive the pressures because that's what you need to survive the level of pressure or vibration at that period of time. Right? And you be thinking and everything else. Right? But if you're not, then you're going to be crushed. Those disbelievers are always crushed. You understand what I'm saying? I make it clear enough for you, brothers and sisters? That's what scriptures do. Hope you understand. So the angel is the Quran is not the book. It help you increase your vibrations by reciting it, but it's a tool. But it's not the vibration, right, that you need to, because that's what it said. You come and tell what's happening, what's going. Like somebody, he don't know. He can't get you vibrating on the level you need. Oh, you gotta have faith and everything else. He can't get you vibrating on the level you need to survive this. That's why and Exodus got all his people killed. He got them all destroyed, his family, everybody else, because he can't get you vibrating on the level you need. Right? In other words, he can't prepare you for the winter. He don't have no clothes. He don't have no house, have no heat, nothing. He's telling you in the summertime, hey man, listen to me and everything else, and you getting the money and everything else, right? And then the winter comes and you ain't prepared for it, right? Because he ain't got you no clothes, he ain't got you no food, he ain't got you no heat, he got no home. You outside, and now you're freezing your ass off because you wasn't prepared. He said, oh, just have faith. But see, Suleiman's coming and saying, okay, no, winter's coming. You need to get this. You need to get your clothes. You need to get heating. You need to get a home, so forth, so on, right? So you prepare for the winter coming. That's the vibration level. You have to increase the vibration level for the time that's coming. It's time of unprecedented trouble. That means the vibration is going to be very intense, very intense. And if you don't operate on that level of vibration, you're going to be crushed. That's why it talks those terms. It says that stone will crush all the nations because it's going to be vibrating on a high level than they are, and it's going to crush it because if your vibration is higher, it's going to crush lower vibrations. That's why I use those terms. What I'm trying to do here, brothers and sisters, trying to get you started relating to that these scripts are mathematics. I'm trying to get you start thinking in mathematical language. That's why I use those terms. They talk in mathematics. So angels getting you vibrating on to the level to survive time of unprecedented trouble. No other book can do that. Only that book can do it. That's 140,000. They was the only ones, right, that could that could listen and hear it. So to get you vibrating on the level you need, right, to survive this time of unprecedented trouble. Now some people won't get that level. They get close to it, but not there. See, that was so-called Nation of Islam, Elijah Muhammad's followers, the Levites, because he brought them up. He didn't bring them to the level they needed, but he started moving them toward. He could start moving towards that level. And they was moving toward that level until Farrakhan came and got them going back down lower frequency. See? So it says Suleiman would have to come and start them raising their frequency up again. But he wouldn't have time to do it, so he had to go tribulation, and during tribulation, that would give them time to get their frequency up enough to get the hell out of here. That's why they do exploits. That's why it doesn't happen to them, because their frequency has to be on a level on at least minimum, because it says, remember, some roads, once they're delivered, some will stay behind. Some have everlasting life, some have everlasting shame and apartment. Those everlasting life, that means their frequency, because they just woke. See, their frequency wasn't enough. That's why they just woke at that time. Their frequency wasn't enough to get out of here. But it was enough to give them protection while they raised their protection. Because it says, they washed their robes in the blood of the Lamb. Read it, brothers and sisters. That means they start raising their frequency during the tribulation. Enough to get the hell out of here. Am I bringing all this together for you? That's the why they had to go through that. Because they wouldn't listen to let Farrakhan fool them and lower their frequency with this Scientology and oil and all that kind of stuff. You understand, brothers and sisters? That's what happened. I think I'm going to kind of leave it there, brothers. Much longer than I expect. Oh, wow. Much longer than I expect to get this point. I thought I was going to get this point in like 5 or 10 minutes. But I keep thinking, am I getting people to understand this point? Because I wanted you to, this is the point I was trying to make. But I was trying to get some background so when I made it, you understand what I'm talking about. Okay. So I had to get your thought frequency up. So I think in mathematical. Right now, if you're thinking, oh, I'm Jesus gonna say all that kind of stuff, your frequency is very low. Very low. Because that stuff's not real. They got you thinking a lower frequency lower than theirs. That means you probably ain't gonna make it out of here. But when this famine comes rolling in, that's gonna increase boost abundance. That's gonna be a boost. That's a present from Master Muhammad to boost your frequency. It's gonna boost your frequency because when the famine rolls in, bullshit rolls out. It's gonna be a hard jolt, right? Like, a starter, you got, you put give them electric charge. That's gonna give you electric charge. That's gonna boost your frequency. Not enough, but when boost enough, right? Well, soon I can give you enough so you can start working with to get out of here. That's the tribulation. But you got to raise your frequency. That's what they wash their robes in the blood of the Lamb. You got to raise your frequency during that period of time. But if you don't, you won't get out of here. Some everlasting life, some everlasting shame and appallment. Who's the one everlasting shame and appallment? Did they get their frequency up enough? Maybe just enough to get out of here. They had to raise it to get out of here. Just enough to get out of here. To go into chastisement. Okay. But those who were with the Lamb that went through, they did exploits. That means they raised it above enough to get out of here. Does it make sense, brothers and sisters? All this coming together for you? Right? They did exploits. That means they raised above. The other ones just raised just enough to get the hell out of here. They're going to chastisement under the tyrant. The other ones, they exploits. That means once they got it, they raised the exploits, right? They raised this above the freaks to get out of here. So they went to everlasting life, other than everlasting shame and appallment. Because they come out, they have just enough to get out of here, but their freaks will never be raised above that because we will never give them any more energy to raise their freaks any higher. And so they'd be marked like forever, all their children and so forth. So that's another story together, brothers and sisters. Hope you understand. I'm going to run through this very quickly, right? Now I talk about waves. Now I'm giving you the background of frequency I've been talking the last couple of days, right? I mean, I had a short circuit the other day, right? I said energy comes back, it's momentous in heaven and earth, but it comes all of a sudden. So every 50 years, called Jubilees, approximately every 50 years, not exactly, we get an energy wave that is absorbed by the earth. Earth converts it into vibrations, energy, vibration energy that we can use. That's why it has to be converted, right? That's why the momentum is in heaven. It's all this coming together for you, brothers and sisters, right? God's universe is contracting now. See, they don't understand that, but that's another story. So the first pause we got was 1860s. Now music is vibrations too, isn't it? So we start vibrating on a level that we produce that. Because the music in the world, who's dominating the music in the world? We are. Because we got superior vibrations. Greater vibrations overcome lower vibrations. Music vibrations. So our music is you got Mozart and Chopin, all kind of stuff. Yeah, but our music dominates the planet because it's higher vibrations. Right? So we start vibrating on this level, and so we kept with the blues. See? Okay, I'm gonna talk about on that level. I'm not. I want to go into more detail. You can go into that, brothers and sisters, but I'm talking about on this level, right? See, everybody started thinking on a higher vibration level. That's the Industrial Revolution. Remember the vibration? Thinking higher, right? Because everybody was invigorated by energy. See, everybody was everybody on the planet, animals, everything was invigorated by its higher vibration level. So that's Industrial Revolution. People start thinking, right? That's Industrial Revolution. We benefited from it, right? It came out of our minds, actually. That's another story. I'm not going there. But you vibrate on a higher level, right? There's conflicts too, because vibrating, right? War, right? That's when you have vibrate on different frequencies. You have war, conflict, right? All come at the same time. And I talk about that in terms of Africa. I'm not going to that today, brothers and sisters, right? Because Africa started vibrating. Because this was really trying to talk about, when I started doing this, we was talking about how Africa would be affected by this. But that's not my point here today. So I'm going to bypass on this. Because Africa is vibrating on a higher level now. And the bottom line is Africa is on level of, they're vibrating on a level of unity. It's on unity over there now. Combined into one big country. But they're going to vibrate on a level enough to separate into two polars. They're going to be Islamic Africa and non-Islamic Africa. But they're coming together. They talk more about it because the frequency of vibration frequency is increasing. Okay? But I'm not going to dwell on that. And then 50 years later, right? Vibrations increase to another level. Jazz. More vibration. Jazz has more energy than blues has. Blues is, oh man, my wife, she don't talk to me no more. She's talking about thing about poisoning me, right? I can't find a job, right? That's blues. Jazz, man, that's a whole different issue. Jazz, right? Right? Yeah, man, right? See? Jazz, how much energy, higher vibrations, right? 50 years later. Electrical age. Lights, electricity, thing vibrating, high vibration level. See? 50 years later, 20s, right? But then more conflict, high vibration, the world wars. This coincidence, brothers and sisters? Trying to talk in terms of vibrations. In Africa, right? So you look at my previous one, explain the Africa side. Then 60s, vibration high level now. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud, right? Because see, the one previous that, right? Vibrating, yet separation there. See, let me back up. The first vibration caused separation because you had conflict. Now conflict started to show because they told us, see, the Europeans, they got different vibration levels. That's why you got Italians and Portuguese and British, right? So their frequencies are slightly different. So they get the warning when the vibration goes because they're not on the same wavelength, right? See? And they told us that our people black on the same wavelength. It's not true. We wasn't even on the same wavelength together in Africa, but it was close. But we definitely on the same wavelength, natural wavelength. Well, I'm thinking our vibration on their level right now, but our natural wavelength is definitely different. And so they put their seed, said, enemy sowed the seed amongst the wheat. They sowed the seed amongst us, tell us we're the same, but we weren't the same. And so the energy came up, our vibration level started showing. We was vibrating on a different level because we responded differently for the extra energy. So we right? And so their children that look like us, they was vibrating on that level. We're vibrating on a level to a extent, because remember, we still rising up, but we moving on to another level, right? So we get more energized. So therefore, their vibration, they start moving towards massa, right? And we said, so we moved away towards cities. They went sharecropping. The next level in the 20s, right? Afrocentric and Eurocentric. We started thinking Afrocentric. Because remember, they were different. So because we wasn't working together. We was working differently. We were on different vibrations, different levels of vibration. You understand what I'm saying? Different frequencies. That's what started showing up. Because they trying to tell us we're on the same frequency. No, we're not. They going by skin color. No. We're on different frequencies. Understand, we're on different frequencies. And so it started showing up because the frequency started showing up once you got more energy. When energy, the frequency get more pronounced as you raise the energy up. When energy was low, you can't hardly tell. But as you increase energy, it starts showing up more and more and more. So by the time you get to the 20s, right? Eurocentric, Afrocentric. By the time you get 60s, right? Civil rights movement, integration, separation, different frequencies. They're trying to deceive you to think, see, Farrakhan, he's on their frequency. They're trying to get you to deceive you, wolves in sheep clothing, right? Think you are on the same frequency. We're not. We're not on the same frequency. Not at all. We're on different vibration levels. See? So we have separation, integration. And our people in this particular time right now, the vibration is going to be so intense, it's going to be total separation. Our people will see clearly that we're not the same. They're going to start seeing it in a minute. See clearly that we're not the same. Farrakhan's going to be cast out and they're going to be separated out. They're going to see clearly in a minute because their vibrations were moving up, right? And remember, they operate on the same level as Massa, so that means it's going to be more intense because they at their level. They can't move any higher, and we can. So it was like we're on a different level, but it's going to be on a different amplitude also because we can move up a little higher. So it's going to be so dramatic, total separation, clear separation. Our people see it clearly in a minute, clearly. That's why I tell people, listen, understand the mathematics, and you can see, because prophets, a good prophet, he see the end. He understands his faith and his knowledge. He see the end, so you don't see nothing happen. He see everything happen. Like me, I see everything happening. You might not see it. I see everything happening. I already see the end. It's like I'm looking from the past I'm looking from the future into the past. See, 60s, right? Computer age and everything else, high level vibrations. But see, this is coming from us, because remember they've reached their level. They can't count with this stuff. They leave their level. That I say it's coming from us. Because we still vibrate on our vibration. We can still go higher frequencies. They can't. So they can come with these computers. That's why they bring all the people from all over the planet, diversity and everything here. Because they can't, if they're doing why do they need diversity? Why do they bring people from place else? They're bringing people from higher frequencies. Because their frequency can't handle it. That's all about. But they don't want you to have it. They're trying to keep your frequency low. They control you. So they bring other people in with high frequency. Remember I said there's different levels of frequency, right? European, Oriental, Asian, whatever. So they bring people from other, right? Because their frequency level has been reached. I told you it's coming from us. Am I making this clear? I'm bringing this all together for you, brothers and sisters. That's what's happening here. So that's why I bring that. Understand why diversity, all this stuff is happening now. It ain't happening in other countries. It's not happening in Europe. How come nobody's come with all the innovation anyplace else? Just here. And now they got all this diversity. Why? Because why you need it if your people can do it? But see what their people are doing, right? Do I need to say it? You see what's going on right now. You don't know who's who, what's what. Drags and you know what I'm talking about, right? I'm live here, so I want to just get through. You understand, brothers and sisters? That's why now you understand what's going on in the background. They try to say, oh no, this is what's going on. Because they can't vibrate on that level of producer stuff. They got to bring other people in. But they can't go but so far anyway. But we can keep on going. Because when we operate in our top frequency, all this stuff won't mean nothing. Because we're going to produce a whole reality that vibrates on high, that make all things new. Because we're going to create a reality that vibrates on that higher plane. This reality operating on on their plane, just a little bit above their plane, because they still have to control it now. It just operates a little bit above their plane. But we're going to go past that, and none of this will exist. Nothing. We don't want any of it. It says all things new, because we operate on a total different level. We operate on a total, our minds, everything is on a total different, vibrate on a different level, different frequency. Come understand, brothers and sisters. Okay? And then the wars, more conflicts, more vibe. See, because you want harmony. See, our people harmonic. They vibrate on a high level, but if you, in other words, if you operating on the same frequency, everything, then you harmony. But we don't have that because we got demons amongst us operating on different frequency. They're all mixed in, so they keep in confusion among us because we got all kinds of different frequencies operating right all together. So it's keeping confusion amongst us. So once you move them out the way, we all operate on one frequency. That means we come together. One nation comes together as a huge army. That's why it's an army. Army is frequent. Army is cooperation, right? Harmony. But they also come together. That's a demon war. They're also going to be harmonized too on their frequency because they have the same frequency, but it's not our frequency. So we separate it, and then we're on our frequency, then their frequency. And there was no confusion amongst us either. There won't be any confusion amongst them either, except to the point where amongst themselves won't be, but it'd be some level of confusion because the frequency, the vibration of the planet right now, all the stuff coming out is going to be graded just like matter. They're going to be suffering like matter, maybe just not as much because they got some of us in them, but they're going to suffer confusion, that confusion, but not confusion amongst themselves. Understand? So they're going to go tear this country apart. See, so another war. I talk about this Africa situation, and now another music's about to come. You're gonna hear it in a minute. As of course, you don't see. You only way you can appreciate. You have to operate on higher frequency because it's gonna be a higher frequency music, higher frequency, higher vibration than you've ever experienced before, and you're gonna be fired up, super fired up. This music, I'm calling it paradise. Whoever comes up with it, they call it whatever they want to call it. I'm just calling it paradise to shows up. It's going to have you fired up. Just like Motown fired you up. Don't tell me they fire you up. Because if you go back and look at the people that was in Nat King Cole time, they wasn't fired up like you fired up now. You may be blind elephants, but you're much more fired up than your grandparents were. Or your parents were. Why? The music. Ain't that what you jumping to? Rap come out of Motown, all that stuff. That's what got you fired up. You said all you do is listen to music. Why? Because it represents represents our vibrations. It comes from us. Music vibrates. I keep telling you, it comes from us. We vibrate on that level. And music vibration. So somebody able to transfer that vibration, some kind of instrument or something, or words. That's music. They can translate into, right? That's what that is. That's about to happen, brothers and sisters. Okay? Because we're at that 50 level, right? But it's also, of course, Armageddon. That's a demon war over here. And God and the devil's war over there in Europe. It won't be a nuclear war, though. Matter of fact, I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen. But this place will be nuked. Vibration on a high level, very high. Very high. See? Not as high as we're going to make it if we can be, but very high relative to what you've been doing the last 50 years. Because it says it comes to you, it's commensurate in heaven and earth, but it comes above a sudden. What does that mean? That means you're going to suddenly experience it. In a few more days, you're going to suddenly experience it. It's like Motown. Motown came out of nowhere. One day, it was Nat King Cole, Sam Cooke. Next day, it was Motown. Smokey, I wasn't a Smokey fan, but Temptation, Diana, and one day, and that changed everything. Changed the way you rolled, the way you rocked, right? You rocked and rolled, right? See? It changed your spirit. Put it like that. If you did change your spirit, just like jazz changed the spirit of black folks in America. I had to use that term because it brings in the hybrids. It changed the spirit. And Motown changed your spirit. And this is going to change your spirit to a higher level. See? It doesn't cause separation because your eyes will be so clear that you're going to separate those demons out. It's vibrating on a different level. And we're going to be one unit army because we're all vibrating on the same frequency. We'll come together like steel and iron. Huge army. Because we all vibrate on the same frequency. It's just we got static. That's the demon, static amongst us. All that static. That static's about to be removed. It'll come clear, like an HD, right? See? Super, surround sound. But we got to get rid of that static, like Farrakhan and all these people. And they're about to be removed. And that's my job, Suleiman. My sisters. Oh, I'm going to have to take this. Hello?
Hi, this is Kalima.
No, it's not. Who is this?
Oh, okay, sorry. This is Kalima Rakim. This is Park at Wesley Chapel Apartments. We got notified that you were interested in the community for a 3-bedroom apartment.
Yes, well, I'm her husband. And can I call you right back?
Oh, sure. No problem.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Bye.
Apologize for that, bro. Since we still got birds I was telling you about it still a little bit. Right? So still working on it. Nothing, not life threatening. Just some, I said those people that know about cycles, I taught about cycles, they look into it, they have some idea what's going on. Nothing threatening. Anyway, as I was saying, well, anyway, I forgot what I was saying. So, oh, we got to remove that static, bro. Once that mass is removed, that's my job. See, because when you start operating on a high frequency, that means, right, greater pressure overcomes lower pressure. That means, like you put water and milk together, if you let it sit long enough, they're going to separate. So by me constantly giving this information right there, raising the frequency of people above the frequency of them, because they can't get this. Remember, their frequency, they can't get it. But our people can. They'll say, they will suddenly hear his voice. People said in great darkness, will see a great light. They will certainly hear his voice. Said they will come when they will hear the Son of Man's voice that come from the graves. Or they will come when they will hear his voice. Because right now, you got all the static going on. And you operate pretty much the same frequency they are. But once that frequency is raised up above theirs, right, then you see them. And you separate from them. See, right now I got you confused because your frequency is pretty much on the same level as theirs. And that's why Suleiman is raising your frequency. The day will come when they will hear his voice and come forth from the graves. So people sit in dark, see the great light. You understand, brothers and sisters? Hope I'm making us. Trying to put it all together to you in a mathematical way. In the AI age, there's a lot I can talk about, but I'm not going to have some else to do, brothers and sisters. Anyway, the bottom line is, right, come from us again. Because they did a study, I told you about that sick code study where Carter was president. They said we were best suited for this technology. They couldn't have that. That's a fact. So why didn't they give them to us? They got rid of those jobs, sent them over to China. Tomorrow, China's great. How you did it? Because you want us to have them and put us in prison and brought people from all the countries over here to do those jobs. Because they couldn't do them. So they'd find somebody operating on higher frequency to do them, but keep it manageable. But it's hard because they're taking over the country. Because they don't understand frequencies. They bring them over. All you need is one higher frequency. Higher pressure always will come lower pressure. Hmm? Vice president, right? What was that? President of what was Twitter before Musk took over, and all these other industries and everything else. They just understand, but they can't understand. They'll understand because they operate at a lower frequency. I tell you, they're confused. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I'm not saying any more than that because I have some things I have to do here. So I think this is, and I said this is also going to cause Africa, because Africa's operating on two basic frequencies right now. And those two frequencies are coming to separate. Islamic Africa and non-Islamic Africa. Okay, so, and this is a picture. See, I've read that's the pressure devil's mind's under, and it's crushing them. It's crushing them. It's crushing. It's crushing them. See, because the frequency, the vibration is too low. Vibrations they're exposed to, it's crushing them. Mm-hmm. But all this innovation, everything is coming out of our minds. Oops. Okay. And we will take the next step forward. All this innovation, everything, you may not realize it's coming out of minds, brothers and sisters. There's minds being crushed. It's coming out of minds. We're gold and silver. Those that study engine know what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm going to show you this and I'm going, brothers and sisters. I'm closing out. I'm talking about, see, the black ones, that's the original nation. The whites, that's the demon. Farrakhan's demons, the devil's master's children, right? His dark-skinned children. So we got static. Now, no unity. So once that static is removed, this is what happens. Now, we unite. We're on the same frequency now. They're on the same frequency. They're going to go to war with Massa. Because no, they're going to stay here because they're on the same level as Massa. Now they want control. We're getting the hell out of here. Hope you understand, bro. Says I'm going to leave it there. Hope you understand. Understand, bro. So I'm going to leave it there. Assalamu alaikum.